Locked Pat, what do you think the Western Conference standings will be like? It's way too early to say, but I do know this, and I'm firm with saying this, it's going to be stacked. You're looking at a combination of the Utah Jazz, who were the number 1 seed last year. Phoenix Suns were the number 2 seed. Then after that, you're looking at the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Trailblazers. I mean, the Western Conference is so loaded. Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic could realistically be a top 3 to top 5 team in the West. That's why it's so hard at this juncture of the offseason to predict what the Western Conference standings will be like. Let's say this, though. It's going to be wide open, and it's going to be a thrill. Flight with rabies. You never want to go on a flight with rabies or undergo a fight with rabies, that's for sure. Can the Warriors trade for Christian Wood? I think the Rockets want to hold on to him. Christian Wood is a part of that core that the Rockets are building with. And let me say this. For the Rockets to come out of the first round of the NBA draft in the first 25 picks with Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, Josh Christopher, and Usman Garuba, they get an A-plus grade for me now that I've seen Jalen Green, Christopher, and Şengün play in the NBA Summer League. Those guys have been straight up phenomenal. And I think that the Rockets organization would like to build with those young pieces along with Christian Wood. You got KJ Martin as well as Kevin Porter. Rockets, things are looking up. Jay Moose, also a Niner fan, shout out to the 49ers report. Who do the Warriors add next in free agency? You're looking at bottom of the barrel players. You're looking at depth pieces. You're looking at guys who are going to come in off the bench and really not get many minutes at all or be a part of that rotation. I think the Warriors are somewhat set right now in free agency. Could they bring back another noteworthy name? Potentially. But I think with them signing Andre Iguodala last Friday, kind of signals that the Warriors have kind of filled out their entire roster and they're content with what they have going into next year. Who do you think was the best signing in NBA free agency? Could it be a guy like Kyle Lowry? Maybe even Chris Paul? Do you like the Rudy Gay signing? Do you like Jeff Green? More of value deals that we're discussing here. Who was the best signing in NBA free agency? Give me some names in the comments section. Let's pivot to this question from Terrence Williams. Do you think the Warriors can get Pascal Siakam? Potentially, and I think Siakam and Ben Simmons would be nice fits on the Warriors. I think Siakam would be a better fit. What are you giving up, though? That's my question for you, Terrence. You'd have to probably part with any combination of a future first-round picks, maybe multiple, because Pascal Siakam, very good defensive player, an evolving offensive player. He's very expensive. So you might have to trade away Andrew Wiggins, Maple Jordan, send him back to his home country in Canada, which I'd kind of like from a storyline standpoint, and allow Andrew Wiggins to be the primary player and scorer on the Raptors roster back home in Canada. I wouldn't hate it. Thank you for that $5 super chat and this $5 super chat from Greg Hollingshead. Who is the best free agent left that the Warriors have an actual chance to land? Paul Millsap? I'd probably go Paul Millsap. That's a guy who the Warriors have been interested in, according to some reports. Could Boogie Cousins go back to the Warriors and give them some front court depth? I'm looking at bottom of the barrel players at this point in free agency. Could you go after a guy like Langston Galloway if you want a creator coming in off the bench aside from Jordan Poole? Some names for you there, Greg. Jeremy Suggs. All right, I wonder who made this one. Should the Warriors sign JJ Reddick on a flyer? I'd like it. I mean, JJ Reddick isn't really that good of a defensive player. He's a really good three-point, specialist at this point of his career, but he's never really been that good of a defensive player. Last year, his season cut short by a variety of heel issues, leg issues, but 2 years ago, I know on your screen right now, you're looking at his numbers from last year. 2 years ago, he was averaging 15 points per game, shooting around 40% from the arc. So if JJ Reddick can get back to some semblance of that, I think he joins forces with a title contender, and I think JJ Reddick as a floor spacer, as a guy who can give you a couple threes per game, could end up being a very valuable player. For all my NBA fans, if you haven't subscribed to Chat Sports, you're just making a wrong decision. Why should I can't say it, Sam. I have the yips. I have the yips on our live show. This is why you should subscribe to Chat Sports, because we're bringing you the latest NBA news and rumors, free agency updates. We're covering the NBA Summer League. We give you in-season coverage as well. We have a bunch of side team-specific NBA channels, and we have 263,000 plus subscribers. So be a part of the family. YouTube.com/chatsportstv or hit that red subscribe button down below. Coco plays Roblox. Nice name there. And a good picture. Video games. He's a big gamer on the sticks. Do you think that Ben Simmons is going to the Warriors? There have been reports for weeks about some interest between Ben Simmons because, according to reports, he has said that he's willing to go to Golden State, as well as the Warriors' interest in Ben Simmons. Now, Zach Lowe and Stephen A. Smith both did say that the Warriors are divided about Simmons' fit on that roster. What does that mean? That means that some people within the organization want Ben Simmons, others don't want him, and they think that that fit could be somewhat clunky. I think the fit could work well with Simmons playing a small ball 5. He could play the 4 for you. Draymond Green could even play the 3, 4, or 5 at times. You have James Wiseman to play center as well, Kevon Looney. I kind of like Ben Simmons' fit on the Warriors because as a passer from the lower high post, if he is playing in a front court spot, he'll be able to find Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and those guys will be able to make it rain. If I'm Philly, I just don't want to gut the farm trading away Ben Simmons. Rakeem Sports, Warriors should trade Andrew Wiggins for Harrison Barnes. I think they're the same exact player. Andrew Wiggins and Harrison Barnes are the same exact player. And maybe because of youth, Andrew Wiggins is better right now than Harrison Barnes. I think that's an argument you could certainly make. For all my hoopers and homies out there, show me that you're a real one. And if you're a real one, give me a follow on Twitter at @Chase_senior. We're doing this during our live show on Wednesday. If you give me a follow, I'll give you a shout out later on today's live show. Savage Tube, what should the Warriors do to extend their dynasty? Well, they extended Steph Curry. That's a good start. Can Klay Thompson stay healthy? I hope so. From 2015 to 2019, he was a 5-time All-Star, a part of those 3 championship teams, and one of the most lethal shooters of all time, paired with Steph Curry. So I think the Warriors' success this season and over the next 3 hinges on the health of Klay Thompson. I'm not expecting him to be that all-world player that he was from 2015 to 2019. Can he be somewhere in that realm? If that's the case, the Warriors, they're going to extend that dynasty. Alizé Pin, should the Warriors go grab Love to come off the bench? Yeah, if Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers agree to a buyout, I really like Love going to some type of championship contender. Could that be the Los Angeles Lakers? Potentially. Could it be the Golden State Warriors? Maybe. The Warriors have long been infatuated with Kevin Love, and I do still think that Love, while he's not the player that he was a few years ago, still has value as a guy who's won an NBA title, arguably is going to go into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame because he put up massive numbers for a long time, and in terms of modern-day value, he's a big man who can stretch the floor and play the 4 or 5. Edboy813, thanks for the $5 super chat. Yo, is Klay good though? I heard he wasn't even coming back this season to start. He's not going to come back to start this season because he's coming off ACL and Achilles injuries. And you can come back from an ACL in less than 12 months. I still think the Achilles tear is an injury that takes about a year plus to come back from. And when you're coming back off of 2 injuries, the significance of an ACL and an Achilles, you do not want to mess around with that and speed up the timeline. So whenever Klay Thompson feels right, that's when he comes back. And if you have to side on the side of caution, you certainly want to do that, because if Klay Thompson joins forces alongside the current construction of this Warriors roster, I think they could realistically be a top 5 team in a loaded Western Conference. T4K Smith 99. Dennis Smith to Golden State. Maybe as a guy who comes in training camp and competes for a back half of the roster spot alongside a guy like Gary Payton. That's it. So Dennis Schroeder, I think, look, coming out of NC State, I thought Smith had some upside. He had some potential as an athletic point guard who was bouncy, certainly provided a lot of Mavs fans and Knicks fans with some highlight reel-worthy plays because he had that Russell Westbrook Derrick Rose type of athleticism, but he never evolved his game to even become a competent outside shooter or mid-range guy. Very one-dimensional guy who also wasn't the greatest passer either.